All right, everyone, get ready because we are going deep today.
Deep diving.
That's right.
I like it.
Into diet rankings for 2025.
Ooh.
You know those U.S. News and World Report rankings that
Yeah.
always come out this time of year?
Always a hot topic.
It is January.
Everyone wants to know.
Everybody's thinking about
What's the best way to eat?
New Year. New Year.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So they put these rankings out every year,
Yeah.
and people go crazy for them.
Yeah, they really look to them for guidance,
They do.
some advice.
And this year, they've totally revamped things.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What do they do?
So new categories, a whole different scoring system.
Oh, wow.
It's a whole new ball game.
A whole new ball game. Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting to see how these rankings have evolved over the years, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
they've been around for like 15 years now.
Right.
And it really reflects,
It does.
you know, our understanding of nutrition is always changing. It's
Yeah.
always evolving.
It's not stagnant.
No. And people are putting more and more emphasis on personalized health now.
That's a good point.
It's not just one size fits all anymore. So it's interesting to see how these rankings are adapting to that.
Well, speaking of longtime winners,
Oh, okay.
the Mediterranean diet, still on top.
No surprise there.
I know.
15th year in a row.
15 years.
It's going to be some kind of record.
I think it is.
Unbelievable.
They scored almost a perfect 4.8 out of 5.
Wow.
I mean, at this point, are we even surprised?
I mean, it's consistently good.
Right.
But what I think is interesting is
Yeah.
it's not just about winning, right?
Yeah.
It's how the Mediterranean diet wins.
Oh, interesting.
It dominates across so many categories.
Okay.
12 categories.
What, 12
12
categories?
categories
Out of how many?
out of 21.
Wow.
So that's everything from
Oh.
and the usual suspects like heart health and diabetes management,
Uh-huh.
but also things like gut health and brain function.
So it's really a holistic approach.
Yeah.
It's not just focused on one specific aspect of health.
So it's good for your heart,
Yes,
your gut, your brain.
all of it.
But it also wins for easiest to follow.
Well, easiest to follow.
How does that even work?
I thought healthy eating was supposed to be all complicated and,
Oh, lettuce wraps and weird ingredients?
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of the Mediterranean diet.
Okay.
It's not about deprivation.
Okay.
It's about enjoying
Okay.
delicious whole foods.
Give me some examples.
So things like olive oil, fresh produce,
Okay.
fish, legumes,
Okay, yeah.
nuts,
Yeah.
all staples of the Mediterranean region.
Right.
It's really more of a lifestyle
Yeah.
than a strict diet.
Then like a boot camp.
Exactly.
It's a good way to put it.
So it's really sustainable.
Which is probably why it consistently ranks so high.
Yeah, exactly.
People can stick with it.
Yeah.
And this year, U.S. News actually changed their entire rating system.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. No more numerical rankings.
Huh.
They switched to a 5-point scale.
Interesting.
So what's behind that shift?
Well, I think it's a move towards personalization.
Okay.
You know, they want to help you see how a diet might fit your specific needs,
Yeah.
your goals, your health concerns,
Right.
instead of just giving you a number.
Okay, so it's like saying, hey, this diet's great for heart health,
Exactly.
but maybe not so much for managing your blood sugar.
Right.
So you can really tailor it
Okay.
to what you're trying to accomplish.
It's about finding the right fit for you.
Now, besides the Mediterranean All-Star, who else stole the show this year?
Well, Weight Watchers is still a powerhouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're still up there.
They won Best Commercial Diet and Best for Weight Loss.
Wow.
So they're still holding strong.
It's interesting to
That's okay.
see a program that's not just about food.
Right.
It's about
It's about support.
support, behavioral change,
Behavioral change.
holding its own against all these other diets
It's a different approach.
that are so food-centric.
Totally.
Right.
They're acknowledging that weight loss isn't just about what you eat.
Right.
It's about the whole journey,
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
the psychology of it.
Now, we can't forget about all the newcomers on the scene.
Ooh, the newbies.
The newbies.
Tell me about them.
U.S. News evaluated 13 new diets this year.
13.
13. It's a lot to unpack.
It is. What are some of the highlights?
Okay, so we've got acid reflux, AIP, alkaline, menopause, Whole30.
Wow.
That's a lot.
It really speaks to all the research happening in nutrition.
I think so too.
You know,
yeah.
we're constantly learning more
Yeah.
about how specific foods impact different conditions.
Okay, so out of all these new diets,
Yeah.
which ones are like making the biggest waves?
Well,
Which ones should our listeners keep on their radar?
I think the inclusion of the flexitarian diet is pretty noteworthy.
Okay.
It's the top plant-based option this year.
Oh, interesting.
And what's interesting about it is it allows for meat consumption.
Oh, so it's not like a strict vegan
No, no,
vegetarian?
not at all.
Okay.
It's a more flexible approach to plant-based eating.
Okay.
So it seems like people are looking for that,
Yeah.
a more balanced, approachable way
Right. Yeah.
to incorporate more plants into their diet.
So it's about finding that sweet spot
Exactly.
between enjoying the foods you love
Yeah.
and prioritizing your health.
So it's like the have your cake and eat it, too, of diets. You
Yes.
get the best of both worlds.
Okay, so I've got the reigning champ, the Mediterranean diet,
Uh-huh.
a new personalized rating system,
Right.
and a bunch of fresh faces on the diet scene.
Lots of exciting changes
Yeah.
in the world of nutrition.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners who are trying to navigate all of this?
I think the most important takeaway is that there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Okay.
It's about finding what works for you,
Yeah.
your individual needs, your lifestyle.
So ditch the fad diets
Exactly.
and embrace a more personalized approach.
Find what makes you feel your best.
So it's less about the best diet
Yeah.
and more about the best diet for you.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's about finding a way of eating that you can stick with,
right.
that you enjoy,
Uh-huh.
and that supports your overall well-being.
This is all really insightful.
Glad you think so.
We've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we have.
From the enduring appeal of the Mediterranean diet
The old standby.
to the rise of all these new dietary trends.
It's an exciting time to be interested in nutrition.
It really is.
Yeah, it really has been a whirlwind tour of all the latest diet trends.
It has.
But before we get too caught up in all the hype,
Yeah.
I think it's important to remember that diets aren't just about the food.
Okay.
They're about the entire lifestyle.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit.
Sure.
What do you mean by lifestyle?
Well, it's about looking at the bigger picture.
Okay.
Considering things like sleep, stress management, physical activity,
Uh-huh.
even social connections.
Oh, interesting.
All of these factors
Okay.
play a huge role in our overall well-being.
So it's like saying, even if you're following a specific diet perfectly,
Right.
but you're not sleeping well,
Exactly.
you're super stressed out,
Yep.
you're not moving your body,
Uh-huh.
it's not going to magically transform your health.
You can't out-diet a poor lifestyle.
Right.
It's really about creating a synergistic approach
Okay.
where all of these elements are working together
Yeah.
to support your health goals.
Speaking of specific diets,
Right.
let's circle back to those 13 new additions to the U.S. news rankings.
Okay, the newbies.
We talked about the flexitarian diet a little bit,
Uh-huh.
but there were some others that really piqued my curiosity.
Oh, absolutely.
The ones that stood out to me were the acid reflux diet,
Okay.
the AIP diet,
Uh-huh.
and the menopause diet.
Interesting, yeah.
They all seem to address very specific health concerns.
They do. And that's a trend we're seeing more and more of these days.
Really?
Diets are becoming much more targeted.
Okay.
It's not just about weight loss anymore.
Let's start with the AIP diet,
Right.
also known as the autoimmune protocol.
Right.
Getting a lot of buzz lately.
It is. So what's the thinking behind it?
Well, the AIP diet is designed to help people
Yeah.
identify food sensitivities
Okay.
that may be contributing to autoimmune conditions.
So it's about figuring out what foods might be triggering inflammation
Exactly.
in the body.
So it involves eliminating certain food groups like grains, dairy, nightshades
Uh-huh.
that are thought to be common triggers.
It sounds pretty restrictive.
It can be, at least initially.
Okay.
The elimination phase is really about pressing the reset button,
I see.
and then you slowly reintroduce foods
Okay.
to try to pinpoint
Yeah.
your specific sensitivities.
So it's like a detective mission for your gut.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
trying to find the culprits
Right.
causing the inflammation.
And the goal is to create a personalized eating plan
Okay.
that minimizes inflammation
Yeah.
and supports your immune system.
Makes sense.
Okay, and how about the acid reflux diet?
Well, that one's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It's all about identifying and avoiding foods that commonly trigger heartburn
Okay.
and acid reflux.
So things like,
Spicy foods, citrus fruits,
okay.
fatty foods, caffeine.
So it's about managing those trigger foods,
Right.
but it's also about paying attention to things like portion sizes
Yes, definitely.
and eating habits in general.
Absolutely. Things like
Yeah.
eating smaller meals more frequently,
Okay.
avoiding eating late at night,
Uh-huh.
even elevating your head while you're sleeping.
Oh, interesting.
All of these things can help
Okay.
reduce acid reflux symptoms.
So it's really a holistic approach,
It is.
just like we were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
Okay, and then the last one that really caught my eye was the menopause diet.
Ah, yes, the menopause diet.
I'm guessing this is tailored to the unique needs of women going through menopause.
Exactly. Hormonal changes during menopause
Right.
can lead to all sorts of challenges.
Yeah.
Weight gain, bone loss, mood swings.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is, and this diet aims to address those specific concerns.
So what are the key components?
Well, calcium and vitamin D are super important
Okay.
for maintaining bone health.
Right.
So foods like dairy products,
Okay.
leafy greens, fortified foods,
Gotcha.
those are all good sources.
And what about those pesky hot flashes?
Ah, yes, the hot flashes.
Everyone talks about them.
They can be tough.
Yeah.
Some women find that spicy foods,
Okay.
caffeine, alcohol,
Uh-huh.
can make them worse.
So maybe limiting those?
Yeah, it might be worth experimenting with that.
Okay.
And then staying hydrated,
Okay.
incorporating cooling foods like cucumbers, watermelon.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Those can be helpful too.
So it's like creating a personalized toolkit
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
of foods and strategies.
Yeah, to navigate menopause gracefully.
It's about empowerment, really, taking control of your health during this stage of life.
We've talked a lot about these new diets,
Uh-huh.
personalized approaches, the importance of lifestyle.
It's all connected.
But before we move on,
Okay.
I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier,
Sure. What's that?
the U.S. news rating system.
Okay. The new 5-point scale.
Yeah.
What about it?
Well, it's designed to be more personalized.
Okay.
But how does it actually work?
Good question.
What are they using to evaluate these diets?
Well, they've moved away from just ranking diets numerically.
Okay.
Instead, they're looking at how well each diet performs across a range of categories.
Like those 12 categories we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Heart health, diabetes,
Ease of following.
ease of following, yeah.
All that good stuff.
All of that.
They're also considering things like nutritional completeness,
Uh-huh.
safety, the likelihood of weight loss.
Right. So it's not just about...
Is this diet healthy?
Right.
It's also about, is it realistic?
Right. Can people actually stick with it?
Exactly. They're looking at sustainability.
Okay.
How well a diet fits into real life.
And they're using this 5-point scale
Yep.
to rate each diet.
Across all those different categories.
So you can really see how a particular diet
Right.
might align with your specific needs and priorities.
Exactly. Maybe you're focused on heart health.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe weight loss is your main goal.
It's like they're giving you a personalized roadmap
That's a great analogy.
to help you choose the best route for your journey.
Find the path that aligns with your destination.
So it's not just about finding the perfect diet.
Right.
It's about finding the right diet for you.
Absolutely. And remember,
Yeah.
this isn't a one-time decision.
Okay.
Your needs and goals might change over time.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah. You got to be flexible,
Exactly.
adaptable, listen to your body.
Listen to your body. That's key.
Speaking of flexibility, let's dive back into the flexitarian diet.
All right. The flexitarian diet.
We touched on it briefly,
Yeah, we did.
but I think it deserves a closer look.
I agree. It's an interesting one.
What is it about the flexitarian diet
Yeah.
that's capturing people's attention?
Well, I think a big part of its appeal
Uh-huh.
is its adaptability.
Okay.
It's not about strict rules and restrictions.
Right.
It's about finding a balance that works for you.
So you can kind of dip your toes in
Exactly.
to the plant-based world
Yeah.
without feeling overwhelmed
Without feeling deprived.
or deprived.
Right.
You can gradually reduce your meat consumption without having to go full vegan or vegetarian.
Exactly.
And if you enjoy meat,
Yeah.
it's not about eliminating it completely.
Right. It's about shifting the focus a little bit.
Okay, so break it down for us.
Sure.
What does a typical flexitarian meal look like?
So the emphasis is really on plant-based foods.
Okay.
Fruits, vegetables,
Okay.
whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds,
Lots of good stuff.
all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Those should make up the bulk of your meals.
But what about those times when you do choose to include meat?
When you do eat meat,
Yeah.
opt for leaner cuts,
Okay.
smaller portions.
Okay.
Think of it as a way to add flavor and variety
Yeah.
rather than the main event.
So it's about making conscious choices
Exactly.
and being mindful of your meat consumption.
Being mindful, that's key.
We've talked about the benefits of plant-based eating before,
We have.
but for those who are new to the concept,
Yeah.
why is this approach so good for us?
Well, plant-based diets are typically rich in fiber,
Okay.
vitamins, minerals, antioxidants.
Okay.
They tend to be lower in saturated fat and cholesterol.
So it's about loading up on the good stuff
Yes.
and minimizing the stuff that can negatively impact our health.
Exactly. And numerous studies have shown
Uh-huh.
that plant-based diets can improve blood sugar control,
Okay.
lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of chronic diseases, heart disease, certain types of cancer.
So it's not just about feeling good in the moment.
Right.
It's about investing in your long-term health.
Absolutely. And the flexitarian diet offers a great way
Yeah.
to reap those benefits
Okay.
without having to make drastic changes.
Right. It's a step-by-step approach
Exactly.
that feels manageable and sustainable.
It's about progress, not perfection.
We've explored the flexitarian diet in detail.
I have.
And it definitely seems like a promising approach
Yeah.
for those looking to embrace a more plant-forward way of eating.
If that's something you're interested in,
Yeah.
it's definitely worth considering.
All right, so we've covered the new diets,
Yep.
the revamped rating system, the importance of lifestyle.
Right. It's all part of the equation.
Is there anything else our listeners should keep in mind?
You know, as they navigate this world of diet trends and healthy eating, I think it's crucial to remember that knowledge is power.
Okay.
The more you understand about nutrition and how different foods impact your body, the better equipped you'll be to make informed choices.
So, ditch the fad diets.
Exactly.
Do your research.
Do your research, and don't be afraid to seek guidance from healthcare professionals or registered dietitians.
That's a good point.
They can provide personalized support
Yeah.
and help you navigate
Right.
this often complex world of nutrition.
It's like having a personal guide on your health journey.
Exactly. They can help you create a sustainable plan
Okay.
that aligns with your individual needs and goals.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
And I think our listeners are now armed with a wealth of information
I hope so.
about the latest diet trends.
It's been a fascinating deep dive
It has.
into the world of nutrition.
But before we wrap up this exploration of the best diets of 2025, there's one more crucial point I want to emphasize.
Right. I'm all ears.
You know how we've been talking about personalization and finding the right fit for your individual needs?
It's been a recurring theme throughout our discussion.
Well, I think it's equally important to remember that diets are not just about food.
Right.
They're about lifestyle as well.
That's such a good point.
It's not enough to just change what you eat.
Exactly.
You also need to consider other aspects of your lifestyle.
Things like sleep, stress management, physical activity,
all of it.
Social connections, it all plays a role.
So even if you're following the perfect diet on paper, if you're not getting enough sleep, you're constantly stressed out, and you're leading a sedentary lifestyle,
you're not going to reap the full benefits.
It's like trying to build a house on a shaky foundation.
Exactly. It's not going to stand the test of time.
So let's encourage our listeners to think beyond just the food they eat.
I love that.
And consider how they can create a healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely.
That supports their overall well-being.
It's about nurturing your body and mind.
Yes.
Not just following a set of rules.
That's a much more empowering
and
sustainable approach to health.
Great, Gummer.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the best diets of 2025, let's leave our listeners with a final thought.
A thought to ponder.
Yes.
As they embark on their own journeys. Towards optimal health.
And here it is.
All right, lay it on us.
The best diet is not a destination.
Oh.
It's a journey.
I like that.
It's about making conscious choices, listening to your body, and finding what works for you.
Beautifully said.
It's about embracing a lifestyle that nourishes your body, mind, and soul.
And that's a journey worth taking.
It really is a journey of self-discovery, right?
Like fine-tuning an instrument. You experiment. You adjust. You listen carefully to the feedback to create the most harmonious outcome.
I love that analogy.
I try.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this world of diets, what's like one piece of advice you'd give to our listeners who are trying to make sense of it all?
If I had to distill it down to one key takeaway, it would be this. Be curious, not dogmatic. Approach nutrition with a sense of open-mindedness and a willingness to experiment.
So ditch the rigid rules and the diet dogma.
Exactly.
It's more about finding what works for you.
That's right.
Not blindly following someone else's plan.
What works for one person may not work for another.
Right.
We all have unique bodies, lifestyles, preferences.
And those preferences can change over time, too.
Absolutely.
Like what worked for you 5 years ago might not be the best fit for you today.
Life is dynamic.
Yeah.
Our nutritional needs evolve along with it.
That's so true.
So it's important to stay informed.
Yeah.
Stay curious. Stay open to new possibilities.
So it's not about finding the perfect diet.
No.
It's about finding the right approach for you, for this chapter of your life.
And maybe that changes in the next chapter.
You're right.
Exactly. It's about embracing a lifelong journey
Yeah.
of learning, adapting, and nourishing your body in a way that feels good and sustainable.
I like that.
Thank you.
Well said.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
The enduring appeal of the Mediterranean diet.
Always a winner.
The rise of all these personalized approaches. Importance of lifestyle factors. It's been a lot.
A lot to digest.
But I think our listeners are now equipped with the knowledge and insights they need to navigate this landscape with confidence.
That's the goal.
And make choices that support their health and well-being.
Absolutely.
Knowledge is power.
It really is.
The more you understand about nutrition, the more empowered you become.
You got it.
To make choices that serve you best.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the best diets of 2025.
It's been fun.
We hope you enjoyed this journey.
I know I have.
As much as we have.
Me too.
And we hope you'll continue to explore, experiment, and discover what nourishes your body and soul.
Keep learning.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
Deep dive.
And keep feeding your curiosity.
See ya.